Jeremiah Sullivan of the Conquer Academy said that while, yes, goals and lists are important, the one thing you actually need in your life to get better is structure. And I can guarantee that if you change your structure or add to it, you will notice progression in your life immediately. For starters, priorities isn't necessarily a real word. It's something that we have created through this culture of constantly being busy. Go ahead, hop on your browser, type in priorities in Google. What comes up? The word priority. Because you can only have one. You can only be putting all your effort and energy into one thing. But, how can you get better at all your facets of life if you can only work on one thing? The way that's worked for me and other people, if you read any of Tim Ferriss's books, there are plenty of his mentors in his book that will show you there's ways to break it up. The way I do it myself is myself, my kids, my work, family, and my wife. Now, why do I separate family, kids, and wife? Because I think they're three different facets. I need to build a relationship with myself to get myself better as a whole, as a human, to be a better husband and a better father. I need to be with my kids to make sure I get that bonding with them. My family, the whole with my kids and my wife, just brings us all together as a family. And I also need to spend that quality time with my wife. If I just spend time with my children or myself, then I'm forgetting about my wife. We can't do that, can we? Another thing that people do is spiritual needs. To me, that just doesn't fit who I am. So I'm not going to try to force that kind of odd topic on anybody. But if you have spiritual needs that you would like to accomplish, go ahead, make that your sixth priority. You can separate any parts of your life that you want to work on. So those are the 5 that work for me. Maybe those 6 work for you. Maybe you don't need all of those things. So whatever works for you, put that down in your notebook. Let's think about it later. Something else I need you to add is what's called your MIT, your most important task. Now for this, usually you can have about 3 of those. Those are the 3 things that are going to advance you on that goal. Now, I try to do at least 1 per my 5 facets. And that's just how I go with it. So for me, going to the gym, working on myself, as you can see, that's where we are right now, my gym. I don't usually put that as a most important task because if I only have time to do one thing for myself a day, it's going to be go to the gym. So when it comes to my kids, the one most important thing I usually have is breakfast. I love to make them breakfast. I love just the look on their face and have them throw way too much paprika in something and then don't eat it. It's just seeing their face light up as they're helping me. That's my most important task with my kids. Just for example, for work, it's, whatever your boss wants you to do. So that's how most important tasks work. It's what's going to progress your goal the most. So you need to be able to keep track of your day in order to break down all these facets of life and assign priorities or a priority to them, right? Okay, now this is 2020. We're all about digital. So use your Google Calendar, or if you're an iPhone person, use iCal. Block off your time blocking. But what I like to do, the old pen and paper and the analog approach. So I've got my planner. It just sits on my desk, whether it be my desk upstairs or my desk at work, and I've just got my day time blocked off, and I just check things off. So after you've created your system, broken down your facets, you're going to need your daily structure. The blocks of time that you create have to work for your schedule. So don't throw, family time at noon because you'll be at lunch, okay? Make sure it makes sense. For me, the way I do it, 04 to 07, that's when I work on myself. I'll have a glass of water, I'll read a book, go to the gym, and then maybe make a post for good initiative, bad judgment. From 7 to 9, that's when I'm spending time with my kids, making them breakfast, getting them ready for the day, reading some books, having them pick out their clothes, even though, let's be honest, they don't know how to pick out clothes. Granted, I don't either. 9 to about 4 p.m., it's work. Why? Because that's when I'm at work. For me, from about 10 to 12 is when I block off work most important task time, because most people are going to lunch at those hours. I can throw my headphones on and just, everybody knows, leave me alone. I'm working on something important. From 4 to about 7 when the kids go to bed, that's the family time. That's when we're all together. We're all eating dinner. We're playing with whatever toys the kids have, reading books, just having a good time as a family. And then from 7 o'clock to about 10 when we go to bed, that's just me and my wife. That's our time. The next thing you're going to need to do in order to establish the structure system is stick to the schedule. You're going to fall back to normal, what you think is normal, and that's expected. And it's okay. But use that calendar, whether it be analog or digital, to keep yourself on track. So, you pull up your phone, you look at Google Calendar, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this. Just get back on task. That's okay. Get back on that schedule. Now, I would highly recommend also keeping, whether it be a notepad on your phone or in your notebook, if you you're supposed to be working or you're supposed to be spending time with your kids, but you're Facebooking, just write that down so you know, hey, I have a tendency to Facebook. And that's okay. Just keep track of what you're doing, and eventually you'll fall right into that schedule, and it's all right. It's going to help you learn what your habits are and correct them to maximize, you. Okay. This is the hardest part for me and probably for everybody else. On the weekend, do your best to generally stick to that schedule. Obviously, work probably go away. Some time blocks will change, but your wake up time, your body doesn't know it's Saturday, okay? If you're trying to wake up at 5 and on the weekend you're going to sleep in, you kind of just reset that whole clock because your body isn't like, oh, it's Saturday, I'm just going to sleep an extra hour. It doesn't work like that. So just get up. It's okay. It's fine. This is that time. I don't know, start your side hustle. You want to start baking because you've been watching too much great British baking show in quarantine? Bake a loaf of bread. Well, that's what I did. And okay, another thing, you want to start a side hustle. Where do you add that? Okay, my idea, early in the morning. Okay, early in the morning, that's why I wake up at 4. That's the time that is yours. Okay, work isn't texting you, your kids aren't screaming, and your wife isn't asking you to take out the trash, or your husband isn't asking you to take out the trash. So the earlier you wake up, the more time you have for you and to advance whatever you want to do. After the world starts waking up and the rooster's crowing, you're going to be pulled in 8 million directions. It's very hard for you to just go forward on your own way. So my recommendation, if you want to do something that's kind of out of the ordinary or abnormal, you got to get up early. So in closing, a few conscious changes to your structure and your facets of life and assigning a priority, singular, to each one of those is going to advance yourself and your family life exponentially. I'll leave you with a quote from Henry Rollins. I know, banned, now motivational speaker. Crazy, right? You can do anything you want. Paraphrasing, of course, he said that you don't have downtime, you don't have off time, you don't have relaxed time. All you have is a lifetime. So get to work. Like, it doesn't. When you're in your deathbed, it's not like, oh, well, there, Stephen, you've had your 8 million hours of downtime and your 600 hours of relaxed time. Doesn't work like that, man. You've got one clock. That was confusing. One clock. So make the best of it.